If the comedians are being attacked, then that means our Constitution is being dismantled.
That's right.
That means the very rubric of our democracy is being dismantled. And I think every single person should be really, really concerned about it.
Folks, I got some bad news. Democracy is over. And it is not an army of Visigoths or Mongols at the door that brought us down. It is the cancellation of Stephen Colbert's late night show, at least according to the ladies of The View. Let's delve into the insanity of the inside of the brain of Sonny Hostin.
Well, it's always been the role of the court jester to make fun of the king.
Yeah.
That is the role of comedians. I have said on this show, I think I said it years ago, when they start coming for the comedians, all bets are off.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I know, stopping it early, but which king was Stephen Colbert being a court jester and criticizing in power when he was marching 40 costumed vaccine people on his stage in a grand gesture of shilling for Big Pharma? Which king was he criticizing then, Joy Behar?
Because the king he's supposed to take the hits. Mm-hmm. And this guy has the skin thinner than, I don't know, than this card. Mm-hmm. He was insulted by Obama at the correspondence dinner that time, and he's such a vengeful guy that he went after Obama after that. He cannot take a joke. And that's what these guys are doing. And I love that they're all sticking together. I remember when Gilbert Gottfried got into trouble for making a joke. He got canned from Affleck. Yeah. The comedians all had his back. Right. And we will stand by the comedians. Come on.
Yeah.
And by
The View is standing by the comedians. By the way, not 6 days ago, they were criticizing Shane Gillis for his monologue on ESPN. So they only stand with comedians when it's convenient to them.
Look at that. That's so cute. Yeah. And by the way, why is it, I think Jon Stewart said something like this, why is it that this guy can call any name he wants of anybody?
Yeah.
Little Marco, this one's stupid, that one's an idiot. We're not allowed to say anything like that on this show in particular. And I accept that, and I respect that. I'm not going to start calling him the Orange Menace. Even if
The creative genius of Joy Behar, Orange Menace, is the best she could come up with. And her audience laughing, cackling at the very thought of the twisted, dark mind of Joy Behar. Orange Menace. How creative, how insightful, how... tantalizing, Joy.
that's what he is. But I'm just saying, he can do it, but we can't. Well, that's not going to work.
Well, it's classic bullying behavior, right? They can dish it out, but they can't take it. And I think that's what we see.
That's right.
It's really clear. And bullies are by nature insecure. Look, I think that we don't know if it's purely financial. I mean, if you look at some of the numbers,
But the timing,
it could be financial. And I don't know that it's purely political. It could be. But my concern is if it is political.
I love this, by the way. I don't know if it is purely political, but I'm about to speculate as if it is because we are not based in reality here on The View.
Then everyone should be concerned. People on the right should be concerned. People on the left should be concerned. Because it's very clear that if it is political, this is the dismantling of our democracy. This is the dismantling of our Constitution, right? And so the First Amendment is the First Amendment for a reason, and that is freedom of the press, freedom of speech, freedom to speak truth to power. If that is taken away, if the comedians are being attacked, then that means our Constitution is being dismantled.
That's right.
That means the very rubric of our democracy is being dismantled. And I think every single person should be really, really concerned about it. I'm thrilled that Senator...
Where were these ladies during the pandemic when people were being locked out of their social media accounts, losing creative content creators were living off that, were being having their livelihoods, their means of making money taken away from them for dissenting from the orthodoxy on COVID? Where were they when Douglas Mackey was getting tossed in jail for memes about Hillary Clinton? None of these ladies said anything about the First Amendment or the democracy or the dismantling of democracy then. And furthermore, let's be honest, you want to talk about First Amendment rights. Stephen Colbert has his First Amendment right to say whatever he wants. Nobody has taken that away from him. And I promise you, he will be on podcasts. He will be on YouTube. He will continue to criticize the president into a vacuum of continuous criticism from the president. Because the truth is, partisan hackery just doesn't sell the way it used to. Emily Jashinsky, vaunted cultural commentator, has made this point at length that we no longer have a monoculture. And for people to succeed in media now, like a Colbert, like The View, they have to pick a team and go at it hard. And people are just not buying that the way they used to. I promise you, as much as Trump wants to take credit for Colbert's show being removed, and maybe he had a small hand in it, CBS would not be canceling Colbert if they were making money from it. We live in a capitalist society. If Colbert was bringing in the bucks, he would keep going. This is a meritocracy. You are allowed to do whatever you want if you're good. Be who you can afford to be, Colbert, and you can't afford to be a hack anymore. Sorry, buddy.
Warren, Elizabeth Warren, Senator Bernie Sanders is asking Skydance, is asking for answers whether or not this was political. The Writers Guild is actually asking the Attorney General to look into this situation to find out if it was political. And if we find out it is political, what are we going to do as a country? We must protect our Constitution and we must protect our democracy.
As Conor McGregor would say, you'll do nothing. You'll do nothing, Sonny Hostin. You'll do nothing. What are we going to do as a country? You will continue to sit there and bitch and moan about everything and anything like you have done for 4, 5, 6, 7 years. Like Colbert's been doing for however long he's been on that show, and it ain't working. Try something else.
This is bigger than just the cancellation of a television
I think it's
show.
Great they're asking the questions. I don't think
It's
they'll
not
ever
more
be able
than a
to just
cancellation.
ask the question and then go, you know what, you figured us out. It's definitely political. They're not going to say it, but you cannot deny there's politics at play here because the FCC has to be involved. It's not just gets to have a say. In order to pass along broadcast licenses, they have to approve the deal. And
Nobody's license is getting revoked. CBS has a broadcast license. When Skydance buys Paramount, when they agreed to the merger, they're buying that license. There's no, this is just baseless speculation from, I'm sorry, I hate to say it, morons.
last week, Skydance CEO David Ellison met with FCC Chairman Brendan Carr and talked about, and I quote, they will embrace diverse viewpoints, that varied ideological perspectives. They're saying that part out loud. So
Notice the quotes around diverse viewpoints and varied ideological perspectives. They're saying that part out loud. Yeah, that's what you have been asking for years. And now all of a sudden, because the diversity will go against what you want, you're not having it?
that absolutely matters. But I liked your kiosk joke, Alyssa, or I know the quote you used, because linear TV is going to be a niche option in 2029. That's not that far off right now. So as you watch the ad revenue, it dropped.
What do you call it? Linear TV?
Linear TV.
Is that what we're on?
Yes.
Yes.
But we're also on
Again, morons.
streaming, Hulu, and Disney+. That's why I'm saying I got nothing to hide here, guys. In 2018, advertising has dropped by 40% since 2018 as ad revenue moves to digital content and non-traditional media. So the fact that they are, CBS and Reuters actually, not CBS, Reuters, requested reported that 40 million number is floating around here. Even when you take Stephen Colbert out of the 20 million, where do you come up with the other 20 million? And when you asked about, I wonder if he was given a chance, this is not reported. I'd heard rumblings that he was defending his staff over the years, which I deeply respect, because it's only a matter of time and you can only protect everyone for so long. But it's a show of over 200 people. And when they come to you and you're the one single face of a show, you do have a limited, powerful moment to say, I'm not letting you get rid of my staff. And so I even respect him more if that is the case.
Well, move out of the Ed Sullivan Theater. I'm so sad to see that that's not going to be the home of late night. I think it's devastating. Like, the Beatles played there. It's iconic. But you can now do a show that looks like it's in the Ed Sullivan Theater for another CBS location.
I can't listen to any more of this. First of all, the word devastating to describe the Ed Sullivan Theater as no longer being the home of late night TV. Like, what words are we going to use for a mother who lost their child or somebody who lost their spouses? If that's devastating, what is that going to be? Listen, I am not a traditional conservative. During the years where George Bush and other neocons were lying us into the Iraq War, I quite enjoyed Colbert's mockery of them and of that movement. And so it's been disappointing for me to see him devolve into a partisan hack. A lot of people have called him a talentless hack. I don't think that's true. I think he's a very talented hack. And does that not make his descent into demagoguery that much worse, that much more disappointing? Stephen Colbert would not have been the first person on my chopping block. How these ladies still have a job is beyond me. But I'd love to hear from you people. Who do you want to see out next when it comes to mainstream media? Who should get the hook next after Colbert? Is it The View? Is it Abby Phillip on CNN? Who do you want to see go? As always, folks, we appreciate you watching. Please leave a like. Subscribe below on YouTube. If you're seeing this on Twitter, please share it with your friends. We'll see you next time.